Welcome back to Senior Healthty Care, where you will discover several recommendations for seniors. Today, we provide essential suggestions for seniors that cannot be overlooked. Over 50. From chair to stairs. 3. Exercises for balance and power. The capacity to ascend a flight of stairs is sometimes overlooked in daily life. Nonetheless, for several elderly individuals, it presents a significant physical obstacle. A seemingly simple job is in reality a complicated physical activity that engages several physiological systems and acts as a significant predictor of overall health, functional independence, and lifespan. Public health organizations and geriatric care experts often recognize a reduction in stair climbing ability as an initial indicator of physical frailty. This deterioration is not only a nuisance, it is associated with an elevated risk of falls, diminished independence, increased healthcare usage, and according to epidemiological research, a correlation with heightened morbidity and death. Ascending and descending stairs need a synchronized integration of lower body muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, joint mobility balance and postural control, as well as fine motor coordination in the ankle and foot. As individuals age, typical physiological alterations, such as sarcopenia, diminished bone density, osteopenia, osteoporosis, reduced aerobic capacity, and decelerated neural signaling can render stair navigation more challenging. Sarcopenia denotes the age-related decline in skeletal muscle mass and functionality, resulting in weakness, decreased walking speed, reduced power output, and impaired ability to make rapid changes during balance disturbances. Significantly, whereas aging induces predictable alterations, these changes are neither unavoidable nor wholly irreversible. Focused incremental exercise paired with suitable diet may mitigate several alterations, reinstating strength-enhancing stability and reconstructing the confidence required to navigate stairs and other everyday activities with less discomfort and apprehension. This tutorial outlines 3 essential evidence-based workouts that may be safely executed at home with minimum equipment: the step up, the chair squat, sit to stand, and the heel raise. These exercises were selected for their direct focus on the biomechanical aspects of stair climbing, as well as the associated factors of balance and propulsion. By identifying and fortifying the precise muscle groups and movement patterns utilized in stair negotiation, individuals over 50 may methodically restore stair climbing capability and associated functional skills. The subsequent material provides explicit step-by-step instructions for safe execution, practical progressions, and regressions for varying ability levels, the scientific rationale for each exercise, complementary nutritional guidance to enhance muscle and bone health, and pragmatic programming recommendations to convert consistent effort into measurable functional improvements. The significance of these 3 activities. Ascending stairs is essentially a repetitive unilateral pushing activity that requires weight acceptance and balance maintenance on one leg. The step-up replicates the fundamental movement of ascending and focuses on unilateral strength, power, and balance. The chair squat specifically targets the prevalent everyday action of rising from a sitting posture, a movement that closely resembles the muscular requirements of the early stage of stair climbing and serves as a recognized clinical measure of functional mobility. The heel raise targets the calf complex, which facilitates the last push-off and enhances ankle stability. Collectively, these workouts include the fundamental elements for safer and more effective stair navigation, unilateral leg strength and power, lower body endurance, ankle and foot stability, and transfer capability for everyday activities. Physiological underpinnings. Ascending a step requires concentric strength from the hip and knee extensors, but lowering need regulated eccentric strength to mitigate stress and maintain joint integrity. Balance and proprioception are essential for maintaining single leg support during step transitions. The aging process impacts these systems via a reduction in muscle fiber size, particularly typed AU fast twitch fibers, decreased motor unit recruitment, lessened tendon stiffness, limited joint range of motion, and alterations in sensory input, vision, vestibular function, proprioception. These alterations elevate the energy expenditure associated with walking and impede reflexive reactions that avert falls. Nonetheless, resistance and functional training, particularly when initiated later in life, elicits neuromuscular changes, including enhanced motor unit recruitment and coordination muscle fiber hypertrophy, higher tendon resilience, and improved intermuscular coordination. These adaptations result in enhanced strength power balance and functional ability. The cardiovascular stress from repeated step-ups and multi-repetition circuits enhances aerobic fitness, therefore alleviating the dyspnea that sometimes hinders stair climbing. Balance training and ankle-centric exercises enhance proprioceptive signals and decrease the likelihood of falls. Nutritional regimens emphasizing protein, vitamin D, calcium, and anti-inflammatory patterns facilitate muscle protein synthesis, bone remodeling, and recuperation. Exercise 1. Step up. Functional unilateral strength and cardiovascular stimulation. Summary and justification. The step-up is a fundamental functional exercise that closely mimics the essential movement of ascending a step. Elevating the body using predominantly one leg enhances unilateral strength power and balance attributes crucial for the alternating leg mechanics involved in stair climbing. It furthermore provides a low-impact cardiovascular element when executed for several repetitions, enhancing muscle endurance and oxygen efficiency. Principal muscles engaged: quadriceps extension of the knee, gluteus maximus and gluteus medius, hip extension and lateral stability; hamstrings, hip extension and eccentric control of the knee; calf muscles, gastrocnemius and soleus for propulsion; core stabilizers to maintain vertical posture and inhibit rotation. Apparatus and configuration: a robust non-slip stepping apparatus, an aerobic step platform, a stair or a steady step stool is suitable. Confirm the stability and non-slip characteristics prior to use. Initial height 4 to 8 inches is appropriate for most novices. Decrease to 2 to 4 inches if a diminished range or strength is required. Advance to 8 to 12 inches when safe and when single-leg strength permits. Support approximate banister railing or countertop for balance if necessary. Utilize it for stability, not for ascent. Comprehensive implementation 1. Commence in a standing position facing the step with feet aligned at hip-width chest, up shoulders at ease, and core subtly activated. 2. Position the whole lead foot, e.g., right foot in the center of the step. Ensure the heel is completely supported and the foot is aligned parallel to the edge. 3. Apply pressure via the heel of the leading foot, propel the hip forward, and extend the knee to elevate the body onto the step. Highlight the primary function of the lead leg. Refrain from exerting excessive force with the trailing foot. 4. Elevate the trailing foot to align with the lead foot during the stride and maintain an upright posture, contracting the glutes at the apex. 5. Descend by first placing the trailing foot followed by the lead foot while maintaining control. 6. Alternate lead legs with each repeat or execute an equal number of repetitions per leg in sets to preserve symmetry and strength balance. Coaching directives and safety considerations. Ensure knee alignment is precisely above or slightly posterior to the toes. Prevent valgus collapse, inward knee movement. Highlight the importance of pushing through the heel to engage the glutes and hamstrings. A forward-leaning torso redistributes the load to the quadriceps, which may seem simpler, but does not effectively train hip extension. Maintain an erect torso and direct your eyes ahead. Refrain from excessive forward inclination that may strain the lower back. Descend with intention, regulate the fall, and prevent rebounding or reliance on momentum. If unsteady, gently place fingers on a railing or counter for support. Refrain from using the hands to elevate the body. If you encounter sudden acute joint discomfort, cease activity and evaluate your technique or get advice from a healthcare professional. Individuals experiencing balance difficulties should execute the exercise with an expanded stance during transitions until single-leg stability improves. Dosage and advancement. Novices 1. Set of 10-12 total repetitions, about 5 to 6 each leg if alternating. Intermediate 2 to 3 sets of 10-15 repetitions for each leg contingent upon height and weight. Frequency. Engaging in exercise 3 to 5 days per week is suitable for enhancing muscular endurance with a minimum of 1 rest day if considerable muscle discomfort is present. Regressions reduce step height. Use a tap-up technique, where the trailing foot only taps the step with toes rather than completely stepping gently. Utilize a support. Decrease the number of repetitions or slow the pace to emphasize control. Progressions elevate step height up to 8 to 12 inches. Incorporate external resistance initially using handheld dumbbells, weighing 2 to 10 pounds. Execute single-leg step-ups. Ascend onto the step with one leg, then descend with the same leg while keeping the other foot off or hovering. Modify tempo slower. Eccentric movements, or introduce a dynamic knee drive at the apex for progressive power training. Anticipated enhancements and schedule. Through regular exercise, several people see less stiffness in the knees and hips, enhanced endurance in walking and stair navigation, and increased confidence within a time frame of 2 to 6 weeks. Neuromuscular coordination and strength improvements occur over many months. Thus, devise a strategy for progressive incremental increases in difficulty over an 8 to 12-week time frame to solidify gains and mitigate injury risk. Exercise 2. Chair squat. Sit to stand, functional transfer strength, summary and justification. The chair squat immediately enhances the sit to stand transition, a fundamental activity of everyday life. The capacity to stand unaided from a chair is a commonly used clinical measure of functional mobility and fall risk. Chair squats enhance the principal lower body musculature and fortify the motor pattern essential for transfers and the beginning propulsion while mounting stairs. Principal muscles engaged: gluteus maximus and medius hip extension, pelvic stability, quadriceps extension of the knee, eccentric control of the hamstrings, adductors stability of the medial thigh, erector spinae and core musculature, spinal alignment and trunk stability, apparatus and configuration, a sturdy, non-wheeled chair with a solid seat, such as a dining chair positioned on a non-slip surface, optional cushion or folded towels to elevate seat height for regressions, or a pillow for added comfort. When using armrests, be cognizant of dependency on them. Employ for safety as a fallback, but strive to reduce dependence on arm propulsion. Implementation 1. Position yourself at the front edge of the chair with your feet flat and hip-width apart. Ensure your knees are about at a 90-degree angle when sitting. 2. Cross the arms across the chest or stretch them forward to reduce upper limb help. If balance is a problem, it is okay to rest one hand gently on the armrest at first. 3. Gently incline the chest forward to position the center of mass over the feet in anticipation of standing. 4. Apply pressure through the whole foot, particularly the heels, and rise to complete hip and knee extension while contracting the gluteal muscles at the apex. 5. To sit, flex at the hips, retract the buttocks as if extending towards the chair, and descend with control to the seat over a duration of 2 to 3 seconds. 6. Avoid plopping down and refrain from using your hands to push off unless it is essential for safety. Coaching directives and safety protocols. Ensure knees are aligned with toes. Direct knees to go across the midfoot. Reduce upper body rounding by sustaining an elevated chest and a neutral spine. Utilize the feet as the main source of force instead of depending on the hands or armrests. Maintain breath. Inhale when seated, preparing exhale upon standing to engage the core and stabilize the torso. In the event of dizziness or pronounced breathlessness, cease activity, rest, and seek medical advice if symptoms continue. Dosage and advancement. Novices. 1 set of 8 to 10 repetitions 3 times weekly. Intermediate, advanced, 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions 3 to 4 times weekly on non-consecutive days. Regressions use arm rests, little elevate seat height, execute partial repetitions, stand completely, then descend just to halfway, or conduct sit to stands with aid from a partner. Progressions maintain a modest speed, 3 to 4 seconds for both ascent and descent, stop at the apex to negate momentum. Include more weight goblet hold with a small dumbbell, or weight plate execute freestanding squats without a chair when proficient, and aim for single leg sit to stand as a long-term objective. Unconventional focus and the significance of regulated descent. The eccentric contraction phase is very advantageous for enhancing strength training tendons and safeguarding joints. Highlighting a regulated descent enhances muscular strength, tendon resilience, and instructs the body in correctly absorbing impact when descending stairs, and activity that may avert falls and diminish joint strain. Functional transfer. Regular chair squats facilitate seamless integration into daily activities, enhanced ease in rising from vehicles, couches, and toilets, improved efficiency during errands, and heightened confidence in executing tasks that previously seemed strenuous. Strength improvements from chair squats immediately enhance the force required for ascending stairs, particularly when starting from a sitting posture or lower surfaces. Exercise 3. Heel raise, calf strength, ankle stability, and propulsion. Summary and justification. The heel raise targets the calf complex and minor ankle stabilizing muscles, crucial for the propulsive push-off phase in gait, and for sustaining ankle stability and balance during single leg support. While bigger proximal muscles provide the primary lifting effort, the calves deliver. The final propulsion facilitates smooth transitions during stair climbing and function as a peripheral pump to enhance venous return. The power and endurance of the calves facilitate forward movement and reduce tiredness when walking or ascending numerous flights of stairs. Principal muscles engaged. Gastrocnemius, superficial calf muscle, facilitates vigorous dynamic actions. Soleus, a deep calf muscle, crucial for endurance and postural stability. Intrinsic foot musculature and ankle stabilizers, e.g., tibialis posterior and peroneal muscles, apparatus and configuration, a level stable surface for bilateral rises. To enhance range of motion, use the edge of a step for high heel raises, ensure stable footing and a railing for support. For those with balance difficulties, a firm surface for mild support, or a chair for sitting alternatives. Option: tiny dumbbells, or home weights for gradual resistance. Execution standing heel raise. 1. Position your feet at hip width. Maintain a modest bend in the knees, avoiding lock, and ensure a sturdy surface is accessible for balance. 2. Apply pressure via the balls of the feet and elevate the heels to the maximum height that is comfortable. 3. Pause for 1 to 2 seconds at the apex to consciously engage the calves and accentuate the contraction. 4. Gradually descend the heels to the floor with precision, eschewing abrupt descents. 5. Reiterate for the specified number of repetitions. Modification. Seated heel raise. Position yourself with your feet level on the floor and elevate just the heels while maintaining touch of the toes with the ground. This is beneficial for those with balance impairments or when load reduction is necessary. Advancements and setbacks. Regressions sitting, rises limited range of motion or reduced repetitions. Progressions, single leg heel raises. Raised heel raises, with heels descending below the forefoot on a step to enhance stretch and range, including resistance handheld dumbbells or a weight vest, or augmenting repetitions and frequency. Dosage: novices should do 1 set of 10-12 repetitions, advanced to 2 to 3 sets of 15-25 repetitions. Heel raises may be practiced often up to 5 to 6 days a week due to the soleus being a high-endurance postural muscle. Advantages beyond propulsion: calf strengthening boosts gait fluidity, reduces foot and ankle fatigue, improves dynamic balance during single-leg stair climbing, and facilitates venous return, especially beneficial for those who remain seated or standing for extended durations. Enhanced ankle stiffness and control, reduce the likelihood of ankle sprains, and provide superior balancing methods during disturbances. Incorporating the 3 workouts, a pragmatic regimen and program formulation. A reliable, durable regimen is the essential factor in achieving long-term success. Consistent, moderate training is more effective than occasional severe sessions for achieving lasting functional improvement. This framework provides a realistic regimen of 3 days per week, which may be scaled to greater frequency as fitness improves. Sample weekly framework beginning to intermediate, frequency 3, non-consecutive days per week AEE. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Warm-up, 5 to 8 minutes, marching in situ, mild ambulation, ankle rotations, shoulder, circumductions, hip rotations, and dynamic stretches to enhance circulation and joint mobility. Main set, chair squats, 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Step-ups, 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, each leg or total repetitions if alternating. Heel raises, 2 to 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions may be executed while sitting on certain days if balance is an issue. Rest for 60-90 seconds between sets and 2 to 3 minutes between different kinds of exercises if necessary. Cool down and mobility, 5 to 10 minutes easy, static stretches for the quadriceps, hamstrings, gluteal muscles and calves, ankle mobility exercises, breathing techniques to stabilize heart rate and enhance recuperation. Progression approach, 8 to 12 week framework, general weeks, 1, 2. Concentrate on mastering form, maintaining a regulated pace, and using modest volume, 1 to 2 sets. Emphasize pain-free mobility and consistency rather than intensity. Weeks 3-6. Augment sets to 2 to 3, somewhat elevate step height or include minor weights. 1 to 5 lb per hand, initially enhance heel raise volume and commence tempo variations slower. Eccentrics. Weeks 7 to 12. Implement more demanding variations, single leg step-ups, slower tempo eccentrics, higher heel raises progressively increase the load, and consider including an additional session each week for sustained adaptation. Incorporate balance and reaction exercises, such as stepping onto a somewhat unstable surface or executing a single leg stance for 20 to 30 seconds. Notes on periodization. Alternate sessions on heavier strength, lower repetitions, more control and load on G, 6 to 10 repetitions with external resistance, with higher volume endurance sessions, higher repetitions reduced load, ERG, 12 to 20 repetitions to develop both strength and muscle endurance necessary for stair climbing. Incorporate a deload week every 4 to 8 weeks with decreased volume and intensity to facilitate recovery and mitigate overuse hazards. Surveillance and quantitative assessments. Monitoring progress sustains motivation and guides programming modifications. Valuable objective and subjective metrics. Quantity of steps ascended without excessive dyspnea. Duration required to ascend a certain quantity of stairs, e.g., 10 to 15 steps. Sit-to-stand test, total number of full stands, executed within 30 seconds, a verified functional assessment. Timed up and go, tug duration, required to rise from a chair, traverse 3 meters, pivot return, and resume sitting. Balance assessments duration of single leg stance with eyes open and with eyes closed as an advancement. Subjective assessments felt effort Borg RPE scale. Confidence evaluation while using stairs. Pain or discomfort scores 0 to 10. Documentation. Date exercises. Sets. Repetitions. Step, height, load, perceived effort, pain observations, and functional assessments, e.g., reduced dyspnea on stairs, safety contraindications, and the appropriate circumstances for seeking expert advice. Cease activity and evaluate whether motions induce acute, abrupt, or worsening discomfort. Differentiate typical delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, from alarming discomfort characterized by sharpness, joint involvement, edema, or ongoing functional impairment. If you have a recent history of joint replacement, severe osteoarthritis, unstable cardiovascular disease, uncontrolled hypertension, recent stomach or back surgery, severe vertigo, or any other significant medical condition, get advice from a healthcare practitioner or physical therapist prior to commencement. In the presence of osteoporosis, refrain from high-impact or high-torque activities that may pose a fracture risk without a clinician's supervision. Exercise selection and technique should prioritize safe loading methods. Individuals with considerable balance impairment should engage in workouts near a railing or under supervision until their stability improves. A clinician or physical therapist may conduct gait evaluations and tailor progression plans. Individuals with peripheral neuropathy, significant foot deformities, or recent foot or ankle fractures should seek guidance from their healthcare physician about activity modifications. Warm-up, cool-down mobility, and balance enhancements. Warm-up essential for elevating muscle temperature, enhancing joint lubrication, and preparing the neurological system. A warm-up of 5 to 8 minutes may encompass performing stationary marching while executing arm swings and gradually elevating the knees. Heel-to-toe ambulation and ankle circumduction to enhance foot and ankle mobility. Minor lateral step-touch movements to activate hip abductors and adductors. Mini lunges or hip hinge exercises that engage the gluteal and hamstring muscles. Gentle dynamic mobilizations of the hamstrings and calves, cool down, and mobility. After the training, engage in 5 to 10 minutes of gentle walking and static stretching for the primary muscle groups. Maintain each stretch for 20 to 30 seconds without any bouncing. Incorporate foam rolling or self-massage if feasible to alleviate muscular tension and enhance recovery. Balance exercises that enhance strength training. Tandem stance. One foot positioned exactly in front of the other for 20-30 seconds. Single leg stands begin with 10-20 seconds. Advancing to 30-60 seconds. Execute a heel-to-toe ambulation along a designated line for 10 to 20 paces. Controlled weight-shifting exercises, transfer weight laterally and anterior-posteriorly. Dynamic stepping exercises navigate over minor barriers or lateral movements to replicate real-world challenges, footwear and ecology. Utilize footwear with rigid heel counters, a flat, non-slip sole, and sufficient cushioning refrain from excessively thick or unstable soles. Verify that the workout space is devoid of tripping risks and is adequately illuminated. Verify the stability of the step or platform before to each session. In cases of uncertainty, go for a lower or more stable surface. Nutrition to enhance muscular, skeletal, and recuperative functions. Nutrition enhances exercise by supplying substrates for muscle recovery energy, for training, and nutrients for skeletal health. Essential aspects. Protein. Older persons have anabolic resistance characterized by less sensitivity of muscle protein synthesis to dietary protein. Hence, slightly elevated protein consumption is advantageous for promoting muscle repair and development. Suggested consumption for physically active older adults around 1.2–1.6 g/kg of body weight, daily modified according to renal function and personalized medical factors. Individuals with frailty or those undergoing rehabilitation may need amounts at the upper end of this range under expert supervision. Target 20 to 35 g of premium protein at each main meal to optimize muscle protein synthesis. Excellent sources of protein include lean chicken fish such as salmon and trout eggs, low-fat dairy products including Greek yogurt and cottage cheese legumes, soy derivatives like tofu and tempeh, and moderate consumption of lean red meat. Chronology and allocation. Allocate protein uniformly across meals instead, then focusing the majority at supper. Consuming around 20–30 grams of protein post-exercise within 1 to 2 hours might facilitate recovery, particularly after resistance training. A moderate carbohydrate intake in conjunction with protein may facilitate recovery and glycogen restoration during numerous training sessions. Caloric intake and body composition. Ensure that overall caloric intake aligns with exercise objectives. Inadequate calories will hinder muscle development and recuperation. Conversely, an overabundance of calories coupled with inactivity might augment fat accumulation and hinder movement. To achieve weight reduction, emphasize the preservation of lean mass by adopting high-protein meals and engaging in resistance exercise. Bone health, calcium, vitamin D, and other nutrients. Sufficient calcium is essential for bone remodeling dairy products. Fortified plant-based milks, leafy greens such as kale and collard greens, almonds and canned fish with bones like sardines are effective sources. Vitamin D enhances calcium absorption and promotes muscular function. Older persons often exhibit insufficiency. Assessment and personalized supplementation under a clinician's supervision are advised. Supplementary nutrients include magnesium, vitamin K, and sufficient protein for collagen matrix synthesis. A balanced diet with diverse whole foods will generally fulfill these requirements. Foods that possess anti-inflammatory properties and their role in recovery. Persistent low-grade inflammation may impede rehabilitation and exacerbate joint discomfort. Highlight anti-inflammatory foods. Foods rich in omega-3, fatty fish salmon, mackerel walnuts, flaxseed chia seeds, vibrant fruits and vegetables, berries, leafy greens, bell peppers, tomatoes, spices, turmeric, curcumin, ginger. Restrict processed meals, extra added sugars, and trans fats that exacerbate inflammation. Fluid balance and electrolytes. Sufficient hydration facilitates joint lubrication, muscle functionality, and overall performance. Strive for around 1.5 to 2 liters of water daily as a standard, increasing intake during physical activity or in elevated temperatures. Replenish electrolytes if you perspire profusely during protracted activities. Little quantities of salt, potassium, and magnesium may be beneficial in prolonged sessions. Pragmatic culinary illustrations. Breakfast, scrambled eggs with spinach, mushrooms, and a piece of whole grain bread, or Greek yogurt with mixed berries, a tablespoon of ground flaxseed, and chopped almonds. Lunch. A mixed salad with grilled chicken or chickpeas, quinoa. Other greens, roasted beets, avocado, and an olive oil lemon dressing. Dinner, baked salmon accompanied with roasted sweet potatoes, steamed broccoli, and sautéed greens. Snacks, cottage cheese accompanied by fruit, a hard-boiled egg paired with whole grain crackers, a modest portion of almonds or hummus served with veggie sticks. Post-exercise option, a smoothie, including milk or fortified plant-based milk, a scoop of protein powder, a banana, and a tablespoon of nut butter. Supplements, prudent strategy. Protein powders beneficial when dietary protein is inadequate. Choose premium whey or plant-based proteins devoid of excessive additives or carbohydrates. Dosing of vitamin D and calcium. Adhere to tests and medical guidance to prevent excessive dosing. Omega-3 supplements may alleviate inflammation when dietary consumption is insufficient. Choose a reputable product and consult your healthcare provider, particularly if using anticoagulants. Creatine monohydrate research indicates its safe use in older individuals to enhance strength improvements when paired with resistance exercise. Nonetheless, it is advisable to contact a healthcare professional, especially about renal issues. Refrain from commencing supplements without consulting a healthcare professional if you have chronic problems or are on medication. Diagnosing prevalent problems and frequent errors. Knees deviate medially during step-ups or squats. Emphasize strengthening the gluteus medius, side-lying clams, lateral band walks. Instruct knees to align with toes and execute deliberate conscious repetitions. Utilizing hands to elevate from a chair. Gradually decrease seat height while enhancing lower limb strength. Initially use arm rests, little, but diminish reliance with time. Dizziness or dyspnea, reduce activity level, maintain proper hydration and nutrition. Review drugs that may influence blood pressure, and if symptoms continue, seek medical assessment. Experiencing pain rather than muscle fatigue, reduce the range or intensity. Reevaluate technique and seek clinical advice if acute or joint-specific discomfort continues. Differentiate between muscular discomfort and genuine joint pain. Plateau in progress. Alter tempo, slow eccentrics, incrementally increase sets or load introduce balance issues, or include fresh movement patterns to re-evoke adaptation. Fear of falling, begin activities near a railing or with a chair positioned behind. Use a companion or engage in supervised sessions until confidence is established. Cognitive behavioral techniques and incremental exposure to increasingly difficult activities may alleviate anxiety and enhance functionality. Assessing significant advancement beyond mere repeats. Functional milestones often provide more motivation than just numerical values. Ascend a staircase of 10-15 steps with reduced dyspnea or without pausing. Ascend from a low chair or toilet without use hands. Traverse a specified distance with reduced intervals of rest. Decrease dependence on assistive technologies if suitable and sanctioned by a doctor. Endure prolonged periods of standing with ease and execute domestic chores with reduced tiredness. Enhanced performance on validated assessments, e.g., increase sit-to-stands in 30 seconds, reduced tug time. Illustrative instances with incremental modifications. Case A, mild deconditioning, no significant comorbidities. Initiate with 2 sets of chair squats and heel raises and 1 set of step-ups 3 times per week. Concentrate on form for 2 weeks thereafter, up step height, or use light dumbbells in week 4. By week 8, target 3 sets and contemplate single-leg step-up progressions. Case B, balance issues and osteopenia. Initiate with sitting heel raises and partial sit-to-stands from an elevated seat. Utilize the lowest step for step-up taps and engage in single-leg balancing holds next to a railing. As strength and confidence develop, progressively lower the seat and elevate the step height. Evaluate the need for a physical therapy referral due to ongoing instability or elevated fracture risk. Case C, controlled cardiovascular disease. Secure medical clearance. Utilize abbreviated sets accompanied by extended rest periods. Assess perceived effort target moderate intensity, RPE 11 to 13 on the Borg 6 to 20 scale, and increase tempo gradually. Refrain from abrupt escalations in load or step height. Use respiratory regulation and pacing techniques. When to engage a physical therapist or clinician, chronic unexplained discomfort during or after physical activities, recent surgical intervention, joint arthroplasty or fracture occurring within the last 6 to 12 months, notable balance dysfunction, frequent falls or escalating weakness, complicated medical illnesses necessitating supervised exercise regimens, e.g., severe cardiac or pulmonary disease. A qualified clinician may provide personalized evaluations, gait assessments, manual therapy and progression techniques customized to comorbidities and functional objectives. Motivation, compliance, and behavioral tactics. Establish concrete, quantifiable, and attainable objectives, e.g., I aim to ascend 2 flights of stairs without pausing within 12 weeks. Maintain a concise log date, exercises sets, repetitions, perceived effort, and brief comments on discomfort or progress. Employ social strategies, engage in physical activity with a companion family member or community organization to enhance responsibility. Alter the atmosphere, music, or session structure to mitigate monotony. Acknowledge little achievements to strengthen commitment. Implement habit stacking. Associate exercise with an established pattern, e.g., after morning coffee or before evening television to enhance consistency. Envision the success of ascending stairs and mentally repeat the movement pattern. Cognitive repetition may enhance physical practice. Advanced variance and ongoing advancement. Single-leg step-ups and single-leg sit-to-stands for enhanced unilateral strength. Eccentric focused exercises that prioritize the lowering phase, extended tempo to promote tendon adaptability and strength. Introduced variants using kettlebells or a weight vest after technique and strength are established. Plyometric or power-oriented exercises, e.g., mini hops or quick step-ups are suitable just for those without joint restrictions and with a previous history in strength training. Implemented functional training. Engage in simulated stair climbing in a regulated environment, using a stairway with handrails beginning with a single-step ascent and down before advancing to numerous steps. Conclusive viewpoint. Incremental progress, aggregate benefits. The capacity to ascend stairs without significant discomfort. Dyspnea or trepidation is a vital indicator of physical autonomy and a fundamental aspect of independent life. Age-related alterations in body composition and functionality are genuine but neither permanent nor unconquerable. By implementing a focused and regular regimen of straightforward evidence-based home exercises, the step-up chair squat and heel raise adults may restore lower limb strength, boost balance and ankle stability, and improve cardiovascular fitness. When these activities are integrated with supportive dietary choices that prioritize sufficient high-quality protein bone-supporting nutrients, anti-inflammatory foods, and appropriate hydration, the body is more effectively prepared to heal, adapt, and strengthen. Commence gradually emphasize proper technique and maintain consistency. Modest advancements accumulate into significant functional enhancements. Every controlled repetition is not only a movement, but a purposeful investment in strength, mobility, and the preservation of autonomy. Over time, these incremental and intentional efforts provide concrete results, more efficient transfers, safer navigation of stairs, more confidence in everyday activities, and a less danger of losing independence that often accompanies physical deterioration. In case of uncertainty, get guidance from your healthcare provider or a professional physical therapist to confirm that the program is safe and tailored to your specific requirements. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts, and goodbye for now.